Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 109 of our trip around the United States. This is our last 2 days in Nebraska. We have made it down to the very southern edge of the state, and now we are beginning to push a steady trek east. It's only counties and pages along the southern border of the state that we're worried about anymore. The rest of the state is done for us. And as you can see behind us, we are definitely in the Great Plains now. Those rolling hills have all leveled off, and it's pretty much just flat ground all around us. Every now and then we come up a slight hill, and it gives you an amazing view of the overlook because you can see for miles and miles on the rest of the flat plains out here. The miles for today and tomorrow are getting shorter. Today's route only calls for 310 miles, a steady trek east, and once we hit Fairfield, that's the end of our day. The real problem here is that we have an admin day built into our schedule every 2 weeks. And every time we've gotten an admin day, we tend to parse that down, slice it, add in other things, and we are falling further and further behind on all those things we need to do to catch up. So we absolutely need to take the day to stop when we get to Nebraska City and do all of those things we've been putting off in favor of geocaching. And can you blame us? What geocacher would want to do administrative tasks when there's all those logbooks to sign? Am I right? Anyway, we're looking forward to a great day out here in Nebraska. There's no wind at all, the sky is blue, and we've got a pretty good target list coming up. So let's see what it has in store. Come on, let's go.
It is clearly evident today that we are now on the Great Plains of Nebraska.
Who else here has the hardest time finding geocaches that are hidden right there in plain sight? I looked around a lot of places before I went, oh, cool, the Red Willow County Fairgrounds. Let's go have some fun. Yeah, I found a geocache at the fair. Woo-hoo-hoo.
We spent all day driving across the Great Plains, which is covered in tall grass prairies and mixed grass prairies the whole way through. Although the views are still nice, they're nowhere near as spectacular as they were up in the sandhills. However, just like the time we spent up in the sandhills, we did traverse through many small towns today. And most offer you a bit of their history as you make your way through. Indianola, for example, used to be a POW camp during World War II, which explains why there's a collection of ruins and abandoned buildings throughout the town. When we make our way through small towns like Cambridge, I've come to have an appreciation for when they have city parks that feature RV grounds and camp areas. Not to mention awesome veterans memorials right at the entrance. McKinley Park in the city of Cambridge is just one such park. And with nightly rates as low as $10, I think their major downfall is that people don't know about them. I know if I had a reliable resource to let me know which small town city parks are good to stay at, I would have planned them into my trip as well. As it stands now though, I'm always surprised when I come across a gem of a place like McKinley. And they certainly hit the point here. All told, this park features a swimming pool, splash pad, picnic tables and a shelter, benches, multiple playgrounds, playing equipment, a historic bridge across the Medicine Creek, disc golf, and of course the awesome RV park that we just talked about and I would have loved to have stayed at. And there are dozens of small town gems just like this all along the southern border of the state, each featuring their own quirky claim to fame. One of the biggest problems with some of these lonely towns is that there just aren't any geocaches in the area, so the hides are few and far between. And when there is a hide at risk in one of these areas, it's important for the geocachers to maintain them when possible because the cache owners may not come out this far again.
Oh no! Look at that. That looks like a problem. Let's do some field maintenance. All right, we've got a new logbook here that we've added our name to. Cache Station Logbook. We're gonna go ahead and put this into a bison that we have ready for just such an occasion. There we go. And we're just gonna go ahead and zip tie this bad boy in place right where the old one was. Got the old one right there. We've already cut the old zip tie. We'll take that out of here. We'll bring that out with us. And right here, we'll go ahead and put the new zip tie. All right, and there we have it. The geocache is maintained as good as new. It's a fine game between using your geosenses and using the coordinates, especially when it comes to something like a pine tree hide. So the coordinates have me coming right in here. But my geosenses like this opening right over here. So that's what we're gonna follow. And look at that, jumping off the map. Oh, it's a really unique style bison too. Look, it opens at the center.
Just south of Red Hill, you can enjoy a drive up Indian Princess Hill to reach a spectacular overlook from the bluff. Just hold on tight because this is a steep climb all the way up. Legend has it that the Odo tribe was traveling through in November of 1874 and the chief's daughter had become ill and her condition was grave. While the tribe was camping on one of the bluffs south of the river, they attempted to treat her using heated stones. However, what they did not know is that she had contracted scarlet fever and the heat only worsened her condition and hastened her death. It was never actually proven that Red Cloud had made it as far as what is now present-day Red Cloud. So here sits atop the bluff, the grave of the Indian princess. And yet, it is highly disputed and unlikely that the Indian princess actually rests within this grave. So then this begs the question, if it's not the chief's daughter that's buried here, who is it that's enjoying this amazing view day after day, buried beneath the bluff?
And there we have a good geo trail to follow. Let's do exactly that. I'll take it. This one says it's a regular. It's been micros all day long. Come on, be an ammo can, be an ammo can. Let's go check it out, HN. Let's see if we can find this thing. Yes! Look at that. Not just an ammo can. A 50 caliber ammo can. Willy Wonka. Oh, this big boy has my geosenses pinging all over the map. This has got to be where we have our geocache hidden. We'll come around the tree from behind. Oh, look at that. Did your geosenses just light up like mine did? And the survey says we have a geocache.
One thing that you can count on from this part of the state, no matter where you go, is the celebration of the pioneers and the homesteaders of the early days of Nebraska. From the center of small towns to roadside stop-offs and the middle of cemeteries, you can learn a lot about the pioneers and the ancestry of the area through all the markers provided. And as you read back across the history and look back across the landscape, it's interesting to think about what it might have been to settle these lands in the early days, and how much harder it must have been to grow all that corn. By the time we reached the booming metropolis of Davenport, with a population of around 320, our daylight was quickly coming to an end. Apparently, everyone else had already gotten that memo though, because the streets were completely empty. We had the town all to ourselves. That gave us enough time to enjoy this nice pocket park and Main Street and get a little bit of history of the area through looking at the mural on the side of the wall. And thank you again for joining us for one last Veterans Memorial, but that is all we have for today.
All right, travelers, that is a wrap for our sunlight for today. We actually got through Fairfield, which was the endpoint for our day, about an hour ago. We've now made it to Davenport, and this is definitely the end of our sunlight. And yes, in case you're wondering, that tank behind me does have a geocache on it, supposedly, and it's a micro with a string of DNFs that go back over a year. I'm not even gonna try it. We haven't seen a single tank or train hide today, and I'm not about to curse this day by ending it with one of those. No siree, Bob. Overall, it turned out to be a really great day out here on the Great Plains. We found almost all of the geocaches on our target list, with the exceptions of the ones we skipped for DNFs, or that they were detours. We really just ran right through them like a hot knife through butter. It also helped that they were park and grabs along the side of the road and micros almost all day. And again, none of them included hides on things like this. Yes. I didn't want that flavor again today. Yesterday was more than enough for me. We hope you guys have enjoyed all the interesting finds we've had out here and the views over the Great Plains. I know they're not like what we were getting out of South Dakota and the northern end of the state. It's just the name of the game. It really flattened out down here. But it's still beautiful in its own right, and we always appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.